So today we're going to be doing some arm balances and some leg balances as well. It's going to be a moderate to high intensity practice probably, but we're also going to have a lot of fun with it, as much fun as we can have with it. So we'll be trying new things and just experimenting a little bit and pushing it to our edge and giving ourselves an abundance of grace whenever we fall out of things. I'm going to ask you all to find a place on the floor or on the mat to have a seat, comfortable seat somewhere. And just lengthen through your spine and close your eyes. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you breathe out, try to relax your thoughts, your cares away. Try to clear your mind of anything that might cloud it right now. Try to make yourself present and alive right here, right now. Eyes closed and breathing. I'm going to begin with a verse. This is from Jeremiah 29:11 in the Old Testament. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. This is a verse that's been comforting to me in the midst of all of this seeming chaos that we're living in, the uncertainty of the future. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So if you want to set an intent for the practice, or if you want to maybe have a mantra that you repeat in your head as you're breathing, as you're going through these postures, maybe this is one, or maybe something like it. There is hope. There is a future. Gradually come out of that. And we're going to come to a standing posture on our mat. Take your feet so they're about 2 fists apart from each other. And move forward a little bit towards your toes. Take it to your edge so you almost fall forward. And move backward a little bit onto your heels. And go a little far. So maybe you even fall out of it. That's cool. Take it to your edge. And move to the left side until maybe you fall out of it. Back to where you were, maybe to the right side. And then just kind of experiment going back and forth to the right, to the left, behind you. If you're just joining us now, if you can turn off your volume, if you can mute your microphone, and make sure you have your video off too. And then we'll check back in with each other at the very end of the class today. Now, from here, we're going to go into a true mountain pose. So you're going to bring your shoulders back and plug them down. You're going to open up your palms to the front, and you're going to really push the ground away with the bottoms of your feet. And you're going to pretend there's a puppeteer in the sky. You're a marionette, and the puppeteer is going to lift the string at the top of your head. And you're going to tuck in your navel, and you're going to feel power. You're going to really engage your abs, engage your core here. Breathe in and out. Breathing deeply, even as you're engaging your core. Stand strong and tall in mountain pose, Tadasana. Very active pose, sending energy out through your fingertips, out through your palms, sending your shoulders back and down, pushing the ground away with your feet, really engaging your core, lengthening through your spine. You should feel the muscles here, all through your body. And again, if you can turn off your microphone or mute your microphone, if you're just joining us. Lift your arms up towards the sky. Clasp your hands together above your head. And gradually bring your weight over to your right foot. And bring your left hip to the left side. Feel a stretch through the left side of your torso. Breathe deeply. Come back up to the top and send your weight to the opposite foot. Right hip goes to the right side. Breathe deeply. Fingertips go to the left side. Come back up, all the way up. Grow taller. Make sure your shoulders are still plugged down a little bit. And bend your back and gaze up towards the ceiling. And come out of that. From here, now you're going to bring your weight into your right foot. You're going to bring your left foot up and you're going to put it just beneath your knee or just above your knee into a tree pose. Fingertips go up like the branches on a tree. Right foot is rooted down, deep into the ground. Grow taller in this pose if you can. Lengthen through your spine and breathe deeply. Hold it for one more breath. And gradually, slowly come out of it. Come over to the opposite side. Again, bring your right foot now up. So it's just below your knee or just above your knee. Push the ground away with your left foot. Bring your arms up like the branches, tree pose on the opposite side. Breathe deeply. Grow nice and tall for your spine. And come slowly out of that pose. Bring your weight into your right foot. Bring your left foot up. Grab your toes with your left hand and stretch your toes forward and try to lengthen through your spine here and try to unbend your knee. Mine's a little bent, yours might be a little bent too. And then take it to the outside. So your left foot is now pushing towards the left wall, the left side of the room. Try to grow taller. Again, if you come out of it, that's fine. Giving ourselves a lot of grace, including the instructor here. And gradually come out of that. Shake that out a little bit, maybe bump it down a little bit. And we're going to go over to the opposite side. So bring your weight into your left foot. Bring your right foot up. Grab your right toes with your right hand. Stretch your foot forward. Maybe use your opposite arm, opposite hand for balance here. Fix your gaze on a point on the floor. Maybe a speck of dust on the floor or something, or maybe there's something in your room that's steady, and that'll help you stabilize yourself as you try to gradually unbend your knee and gradually lengthen through your spine. Challenging pose here. And slowly come out of it, whenever you're ready. And just kind of move your feet back and forth a little bit. Shake out. Now you're going to bring your weight back into your right foot. You're going to lift up your arms and lift your left foot up and forward. And come into warrior 3 here by bringing your left foot back. So your left foot is pointing towards the back wall, fingertips pointing forwards, and you can even bring your gaze forward and fixate on a point somewhere to hold your balance. Push it to your edge. If you come out of it, that's cool. Shake it out, try it again. Hold it for a breath or 2. And just like that, it's over. Do the opposite side. Bring your weight into the left side. Bring your right foot up, forward. Stabilize yourself with your arms. And keep that right foot back. Warrior 3. Fingertips go forward. You can bring your gaze forward. Right foot back towards the back wall. Lengthen through your spine. Hold it for a breath or 2, and then you can gradually come out. And just shake it out a little bit. Shake your legs out a little bit here. Very challenging poses to begin our practice today. Now we're going to bring our weight one more time into our right foot. Going to bring your left knee up. Then you're going to grab your ankle and with your left hand and kick that left foot back and bring your right foot forward. Dancer pose. Really bend your back here, arch your back. You fall out of it, give yourself grace. It's a hard pose to stay in, especially if you're on carpet like I am. Push it to your edge, and you can gradually come out of that whenever you're ready and shake it out a little bit. Bring your balance into the opposite foot. Bring your right knee up. Stabilize yourself with your arms, your hands. Grab your ankle with your right hand and come into dancer pose on this side. Push it to your edge. And gradually, slowly come out of that pose. And shake it out a little bit, maybe bounce up and down. Bring your feet so they're outside of the mat. Bring your toes so they're pointing a little bit in. And you're going to bring your shoulders back and down. And you're going to hold out your arms and pretend you're holding this giant imaginary beach ball here. Some familiar things that we're going to be doing for those of you who've been joining. And you're going to gradually bring your sacrum back and bring your torso so it's parallel with the ground. Stretch nice and long through your spine. Spine is parallel with the ground. Hold that beach ball in like you're holding this big ball of energy here. And then bring your left hand to your right ankle and bring your right hand up and your gaze up. Come back, so that your back is parallel with the ground. You're holding the beach ball. Breathe here, 1 or 2 breaths. And then come to the opposite side. So left fingertips go up, gaze goes up. Right fingertips go to your left ankle. Hold it for 1 more breath. Come back, holding the beach ball. And then come out of that pose. Bring your toes so they're pointing out this way, to the right, to the left of the mat. And then you're going to sit down and you're going to bring your hands up. Elbows are bent. And we're going to flow through this pose just a little bit. You're going to come up, maybe on an inhalation rather. Down in an exhalation, up, down, up, down, and just keep going back and forth a few times. One or two more times. Marry the movement to the breath. And then hang out in that goddess pose down here for about 2 more long breaths. Now come over to the right side of the mat. Bring your left heel down into the ground and your right knee goes forward. And you're just going to go back and forth a few times. So you're going to come up, maybe inhale, and then come down on the opposite side as you exhale. Up as you inhale, down as you exhale. Go back and forth about 4 or 5 times. And then come on into a yogi squat. So bring your heels a little closer together. Maybe they're about 2 fists apart, maybe a little more, a little less. Your toes are pointing out that way, to the right and left. Bring your hands to your heart center. And try to lengthen a little bit here through your spine. Shoulders go down. Breathe here. Bring your right hand down into the ground. Push the ground away. Bring your left hand up. Stretch through those left fingertips. Bring your left hands down, your left arm below your upper left leg. And then bring your right hand over behind you and clasp your hands behind you. And then, if you want to go crazy, you can come up and bring your balance into your right foot. And if you want to go really crazy, you can try to unbend your left knee. Bird of Paradise pose. Come out of that slowly, if you can, back into a yogi squat and hang out here and breathe deeply for about 3 breaths. Bring your left hand into the ground. Bring your right fingertips up. We're going to do that again on the opposite side. Bring your right hand down, right arm beneath your upper right leg. Clasp your hands behind you, underneath your upper right leg, and bring your balance into your left foot. Think about unbending that right knee. And gradually come out of that and stand in mountain pose. Still an active pose, but more of a rest than before. Maybe your heart's beating a little faster. Maybe you're sweating a little bit. It's good. If anything doesn't feel good in your body, if there's a sharp pain, that's a sign to back off. Otherwise, push it to your edge. Take it where you feel comfortable. Arms all the way up. And you're going to swan dive down, and you're going to come into a plank pose. This is a little challenging. We're going to now maybe come forward just a little bit on that plank. And you're going to slowly come down so that your biceps are parallel with the floor. And then come out of it. So it's almost like you're doing like half of a push-up. Try that one more time. Back up again. Last time. And you're going to lower all the way down to the ground. Now just relax in the ground on one cheek or the other for a moment or two. You're going to come back up into a plank, high plank pose here. And you're going to come over onto the outer edge of your right, or of your left foot rather. And then you're going to bring your right foot forward so that you have a little kickstand right here. Side plank. Bring your right fingertips up towards the sky. Bring your gaze up. Push the ground away with the outer edge of your left foot and with your left hand. Bring your hips, don't let them sag, but bring them up. And then you're going to come out of that high plank again, lower arm down. Come into a cobra or an up dog. Up dog is when you push the ground away with the tops of your feet. Bring your pelvis a little bit off the ground. And then come into a child's pose. I'm going to reorient myself just a little bit here, and we're going to come into a side plank on the opposite side. So first, high plank. Come on to the outer edge of your right foot. Bring your left foot forward. Bring your gaze and your left fingertips up. Bring your hips up. Push the ground away with that right palm and with the outer edge of your right foot. And also stabilize yourself with your left foot. Gradually come out of that. Come back down into a child's pose to rest. So bottom goes back down towards your heels. Fingertips go forward. Lengthen through your spine. Forehead goes towards the ground. Breathe deeply here in child's pose. Now, if that was cool for you, if you liked that, you could do it again. If you didn't like that, you can hang out in child's pose just for a few moments. If you want more of a challenge, come into a high plank. come as though you're going into the side plank, but instead of moving your foot forward to kickstand, you can keep one foot stacked on top of the other. And if you want more of a challenge, you can bring that left foot up, side plank. Hold this for a breath or two. Bring that foot down and then bring your left fingertips down and back. And then come out of it into a high plank, lower down, up dog or cobra, back into a child's pose. And again, if you choose to just hang out in child's pose here, that's totally cool. You've earned it by now for sure. But if you want that extra challenge, come back into a high plank on the opposite side here. We're going to do a side plank on the opposite side. Bring that right foot up, right leg up. If you want more of a challenge, and hold this for about 2 breaths. 2 deep breaths. Bring your right fingertips down and back a little bit. Come out of that into a high plank, lower down. Up dog or cobra, child's pose. Now we're going to come out of that. We're just going to flow through a few times to some warrior 1, warrior 2 sequence for comfortability, familiarity. So you're going to come to a downward facing dog. You're going to push the ground away with your hands. You're going to bring your butt up and back into the air. Bend your knees just a little bit to lengthen through your spine. Downward facing dog. So your hands are about 2 fists apart. Feet are about 2 fists apart. Bring your left leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Bring that left leg forward in between your hands. Come on up into a high lunge. Bring your arms up. Put your hands to heart center. And we're going to twist here to the left side. And if you want more challenge, you can open up your arms. And you can bring your gaze up towards those upper fingertips, towards the ceiling. Gradually come out of that twist. Deepen into your lunge. Bring your fingertips up. Back bend slightly. Bring your hands down to the ground. Kick that foot back, lower down. Up dog or cobra, downward dog. Bring your left foot back up. 3-legged dog. Bend your left knee. Bring your left toes to your left wrist. Bring your back foot so that it's a 45-degree angle with the back of the mat, warrior 1. Clasp your hands together, do a deeper back bend. Come out of that a little bit by bringing your back foot so that the back side of your back foot is, or the outer side of your back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Come into warrior 2. Fingertips pointing in opposite directions. Deepen that pose. Make sure your knee's not going past your toes, but deepen that knee. Reverse your warrior. Gaze goes up to the sky. Feel stretch through the left side of your torso. Extended side angle. Feel a diagonal line coming from the outer side of your back foot all the way up through your right fingertips. Gaze goes up. Come back into warrior 2. Now, this is something that you can do if you have a block or if you have like a stool or something. You can try this at home later. It's kind of a fun pose. Maybe come a little bit out of warrior two, and I'll try to teach it to you the best I can here. This is called a half moon pose. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically start out in like a warrior one, or warrior two rather. If you have a block or something, you can put the block a few inches to the right of your, or to the left of, to the right of your right foot. You're going to have the block in your right hand, and you're going to come up onto your right foot, pushing the ground away with your right hand. And you're going to open up your hips to the left side, to the front here, and you're going to bring your arm up towards the sky. And feel free to try that, and if you don't have a block or stool or something, you can always come into that pose still, and you can just bring your hand down to the ground here. Just experiment with that a few times and find, if it's comfortable, if it's cool, that's great. If not, just hang out in Tadasana mountain pose for a little bit as other people practice that pose. So you're trying to open up your hips to the left side here. Open up your chest a little bit to the left side and a little bit up high towards the ceiling. Gaze goes up. Now let's try the opposite side. If you like that. If you didn't, again, just hang out in Tadasana, breathe. We're going to get back to a flow sequence in a second. So again, the block or the stool or whatever you have can go a little bit to the left, a few inches to the left of your foot, and then maybe about a foot or so forward. Just try this for a little bit. Try a few different variations of this so it feels comfortable in your body. If it doesn't, that's cool. When you've had enough of that, come back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Shoulders go back and down, lengthen through your spine. And everyone now, if you can gradually move your arms up, gaze up. Swan dive down, step or jump back, high plank, lower down. Up dog or cobra, downward dog. Bring your right foot up and back, right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Bring your right foot between your hands, high lunge. With your right foot forward, hands to heart center, twist. Open up your arms if you want more challenge. Gaze up if you want even more challenge. Arms back up high. Hands to the ground, kick that right foot back up, bend that right knee. Bring the right toes to the right wrist. Back foot at a 45-degree angle with the back of the mat, warrior one. Breathe deeply. Warrior two. Back edge of back foot, parallel with the back of the mat. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Warrior two. And cartwheel down, step that foot back. High plank, lower down. Up dog or cobra. Downward dog. And now come back into child's pose. rest in child's pose for a moment. Breathe deeply. As you're in child's pose, now you're going to bring your fingertips to the right side. Make sure that your left hip is moving down towards the ground. Feel a stretch through the left side of your torso. And stretch your fingertips to the left side of the room now, the opposite side. Right hip goes down. Feel a stretch through the right side of your body. Fingertips go forward. Breathe deeply. And come back onto your backs. Knees up towards the ceiling. Feet down, pushed into the ground. Take yourself through a few pelvic tilts here. So you're going to pretend that your sacral region here, sacrum region is like a clock. You're going to push your sacrum down into the ground. Then the left side of your butt's going to go into the ground, then the lower part of your back, and then the right side of your butt, then your sacrum. You're going to just kind of move around, maybe in a counterclockwise fashion a little bit here. And then go the opposite direction in a clockwise fashion. Bring your knees to your chest. Bring your knees to the left side. Bring your gaze and your fingertips to the right side. Spinal twist. And bring your knees to the right side, your gaze and your fingertips to the left. And if you want to do a bridge, or if you want to do a wheel or something right now is a good time for that. So you can bring your pelvis up towards the ceiling, pushing the ground away with the bottoms of your feet. You can work your shoulders behind you, work your hands a little bit underneath your torso, underneath your back, and clasp your hands down at the base of your spine. So your arms are parallel with the ground. Fists are in the ground. Tops of arms are in the ground. Come back out of that. Bring your knees to your chest. And kind of circle your legs around a little bit. You worked them a lot today. The balancing poses that we just did. And feel free to do another spinal twist if you want, or any other pose that you want to do before coming to Shavasana, horse pose. You're going to lie down on your back. Once you've done doing any last minute poses you want to do, you're going to lengthen your legs. Bottoms of feet are now off the ground. Heels are in the ground. You're going to breathe deeply. Relax your stomach muscles. You're lying on a sandy beach, on a nice grassy meadow, somewhere safe and comfortable. Each exhalation of breath brings one more muscle group into the ground. Make sure your eyes are closed. And I will end with the verse that I began with today, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Gradually come to your side. Make your way to a comfortable seated position. Hands to heart center. Namaste.